On this chapter of the Ask Professor Dan show, meet our special guest lecturer, Father Craig Hightower, and find out why he used to fly with the Soviets and how he almost got a dozen orphans kicked out of school with bad haircuts. But now, will anyone know the names of Rob's dogs? Back to the show.
Vince Allen here with Ali Hulan in the JV Center lobby. We have somebody who thinks they got the right answer to the question. What do you think the name of Rob Sacre's dogs are?
Jackson is at least one of them.
Jackson is the name of one of the dogs. Doggone it. You got the right answer. You get a free t-shirt. You get a match with me and Ali. So there's going to be two more questions like this throughout the rest of the show. If you guys get these questions right, you too can win a t-shirt, match the rest of the staff. They're pretty awesome t-shirts. I bet you don't have one this color. But that's all we got from out here, so back to you guys at the game.
Good job, Vince. Hope she's not allergic to neon. So, Rob, what about those dogs? And the other one was Lou.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, how did you come to fall in love with pit bulls?
You know, I got one dog, and I just fell in love with that type, and he was super loyal. Louie was the first one. He's the little one, and I just fell in love, and basically I just went to there, and I had to go get Jackson.
Now, everybody wants to know, your career at Gonzaga is over. God bless you for being such a wonderful athlete for us. What's next for you?
Hopefully I can finally get paid to play basketball. That'd be nice. Yeah, I'm going to be working out with some teams this following May, and we'll go from there, and hopefully it'll put some money in my pockets.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to donate a whole bunch of money back to Gonzaga University, too. We're
Gonzaga
all
right
rooting
there.
for you. Now it is time to meet tonight's guest lecturer. Please say hello to Father Craig Hightower, who is the Director of University Ministry. And I got to show you guys something like this. How about the guy who has his own mug on a shirt like that? And I can't tell if they can read this. It says,
"Have fun with integrity."
What's the meaning behind the "have fun with integrity"?
You know, one of my team members, Janine Steer, the Reverend Steer, came up with that as we went down to the WCC tournament and was telling all of our students to have fun with integrity when they were in Vegas, and so they decided to put it on the shirt.
That's kind of like your thing. And those are for sale at University Ministry, so beautiful. We also had a good conversation before, Father, and you were telling me about your background. I just want to list off his degrees for you real quickly. From Seattle U, a degree in criminology. You also have a master's in Christianity and culture and a master's of divinity. I'm leaving a couple out just in the interest of time, but what the heck? Why so many degrees?
Well, the Society of Jesus decided to educate me so that I could be a teacher, be an instructor, and be a better preacher. And one of the things, Ignatius was arrested, and it was always under the charge that you're not qualified to do what you're doing.
By the Inquisition, yeah?
By the Inquisition, 3 times, Monty Python aside. And so he wanted to make sure that that was not a charge leveled against the early companions. And so he required that we go and do a lot of degrees and a lot of schooling.
And it's still that way it is with the Jesuits now. All right, now we're going to test our cyber audience and see how well you know some pop culture trivia from when Father Craig was about their ages. All right. Here's a picture of Father Hightower when he graduated from high school back in 1988 it was. That is not Sean Cassidy. That is actually Craig Hightower. At this time, New Wave was hitting the airwaves. Listen to this #1 song, name the artist and title, and you could earn a point for your team.
Is this moment 21st century's yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know.
Shannon Reeder, what do you got?
Ashley says it's Broken Logic.
It is not Broken Logic.
You want the song or the group?
Maybe either one at this point. Oh! Rob is playing by the rules. He actually tapped in.
From April Dick, it is an acid. And
That's
INXS.
It is in excess. I need you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it may be controversial, but quad block is on the board. 1988, Father. What kind of a kid were you in high school?
I was a punk.
Were you really?
No, I went to a great high school. I ran with a crowd that we kind of got along with everything. I was a varsity athlete, but I was also captain of the debate team. A lot of my friends were student body officers, that kind of thing. So we just had a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, after high school, Father Hightower attended Seattle University. In 1991, the summer of his junior year, he went to Europe as an intern working with ESPN, covering the International Peace Games. Now, the picture you're going to see is Father Hightower with a helicopter crew that he flew around the city on while he was doing his internship. I want you guys to name the city that hosted the International Peace Games in 1991. Shannon Reeder, what do you got?
Hannah says it's Ukraine.
It is not the Ukraine.
My people give me the right answer.
Tap in, and he's good at. What do you got?
Well, Natalie, I don't know how to pronounce this. Bugai?
Negative. Rob Sacre.
From my friend Brian Sabian, or Brendan Sabian, Indianapolis.
It's not. Can we see the picture once again, please, Colin?
I don't think
there's a big hit. Look at the truck. That's Cyrillic.
I'm in the Soviet Union.
It's in the Soviet Union. That's outside of Moscow. No points awarded. But this is absolutely hilarious because Father Hightower was flying around for a really good reason. Because back then, Moscow was still a very, very busy city, but you couldn't get around.
We couldn't get around in the city, and we had to shoot the satellite relay up to the mountains so it could go to the satellite. And you can see those, the helicopters were Soviet designed but Polish built, and they were air cooled, so they couldn't hover. Oh. So they kept overheating, so we had to rotate the helicopters the whole time.
That sounds a little scary. All right, so right after college, as we move on, Father Hightower volunteered to go to Haiti in the midst of a coup. He became principal of an elementary school there. And you were telling me life was really, really tough. There's some shots of you with the kids at your school. One of the interesting things was electricity was really, really scarce when he was there. But when they did have electricity, guess what the boys wanted? They wanted Father to fire up the clippers and cut their hair like this guy. What you have to do is name that guy. No. Rob, how about quad block? What do they say?
From Mason, MC Hammer.
It is MC Hammer, who has kind of fallen on tough times after this. Way to go, quad block. Father, you were telling me that there was a real interesting story about after you cut some of the kids' hair to look like Hammer Time.
Right, yeah. So we cut the hair. We cut about 70 boys' hair that night with the generator doing the clippers. And the next day, even though I was the principal, the teachers would not let the kids into school because the haircut, called the walk, makes them look like vagabonds. And that's what the police did to street children. And
so that they could identify who the rough characters.
So they could identify which kids were homeless and on the streets. And so my teachers would not allow the students in their classroom. So we had to fire up the generator and shave their heads bald before they could go to school.
I'm actually in favor of that style. But all right, time for a quick score update. It is quad block with 2, CM with 2, and the Midwest block with 2. We're all tied up. It's a dog fight. Coming up next, it's our cyber interview. That's where you get to submit the questions for Father Hightower. But before we go to break, another trivia question for you over in our lobby. Shannon Reeder just finished her final season with the women's basketball team. How many wins did the ladies have in the NCAA tournament over the last 4 years? Answer, and you could get a shirt. You're watching the Ask Professor Dan show on GUTV.
And fade. Cue.
Hi, I'm Marissa Morrison in production control, reminding you to cast your vote for the question you want answered on Ask Professor Dan show. Remember, these questions are: A, should NCAA athletes be paid to play? B, if Father Cataldo were here, what would he think of Gonzaga? And C, how has social media changed the way we date? Remember to cast your votes on Twitter at Ask Professor Dan show, and we'll be right back.